Yo, yo, excuse me. Yo, what up? It's AaroniMoses, and this is Life is in the Breath, and I will be interviewing Nefertiti of Intuition Speaks. Let me add her to the live. My bad. Should have brought a chair. I literally just learned how to do this today, so excuse me. Hi, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I didn't even ask for it.
I'm just
So
hoping I
this
hear you
is
good enough.
Nefertiti of Intuition Speaks. Here to speak on twin flames. Have some pretty interesting questions, I believe. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself for anyone who doesn't know?
Oh Lord, I have so many layers. Um, well, right now I have a group for those that do know me. For those that don't, I do spiritual relationship mentoring. I also do twin flame readings to like kind of define whether you're in a twin flame relationship. I also just do regular intuitive law of attraction kind of stuff. Also, just I've got kind of a lot of different things I'm into. I do a little magic. Haven't really practiced as much as I should be, but um, I'm just very a lot of layers. Not like onions, more like cake.
I was waiting on you to say that. Okay. I'm just trying to, we have people trying to join the group, and then I wanted to share it to my page and all of that. So, if you could bear with me for a second.
And everybody, please have patience. This is like the first time that not only are we doing this together, but we're actually, well, doing a video together. So we might
Yeah,
have a couple of technical difficulties.
technical side is killing it. Uh, it's not even showing up. That's fine. I'll just get into asking you the questions. So my first question is, can a twin flame relationship be one that is non-romantic?
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, can a twin flame relationship be one that is non-romantic?
Absolutely not. That is one of the biggest difference between a soulmate relationship and a twin flame relationship. A soulmate could be anybody. It could be your mom, your best friend, your cousin, the cat down the street. It could be pretty much anybody. A twin flame relationship is only, I wouldn't even call it romantic because a lot of people think, oh, the love of my life. That's not what a twin flame relationship is. And I'm sure you'll probably get into that later. But it's not one of really romance. It is only with a love ro- interest, but it's nowhere near romantic. so, um, but to answer your question, it can only be someone you're intimately involved with.
Hmm, okay, I didn't know that. All right, so when did you first start learning about twin flames and studying?
Whew, long time ago. Um, I got to a stage in my life that I was tired of being with karmic partners. Even though you need them in your life to learn valuable lessons, you they're not always very fun. And I got to a point where I was just like, I am not going to be with anybody. I am going to be single by choice. And that lasted for about 7 years. And within that time, I did a lot of studies on relationships and how they work because I knew that the next relationship I got into, I wanted it to be the final relationship. So I kind of stumbled on it actually. And then I got really interested in it and I just started studying it and it just grew into this monster of knowledge I have now. And I've been pretty much through every stage, and I am hopefully at the last stages with my twin now, so I have a lot of knowledge in it.
So what made you buy into it? Like, what made you really believe that this was an actual concept?
Well, at first, it kind of was oh, me and this person get along really great because we have these, things in common and these synchronicities, and that's cool. And I'm looking for, a person, and here we go. And then I started really researching it, and, there are several indications of not only a twin flame, but a false twin flame, a soulmate, and the differences. And I started realizing I was even with a false twin flame at one time. Um, but when it's your time to have your twin flame come in and you meet your twin flame, your life's going to change. You're going to start seeing synchronicities, numbers. You're going to have that person's name show up everywhere. Like everywhere you look, that person's name is going to show up. Just signs. You're going to feel different. You're going to go through a shift. So generally, if you don't know that this is your twin flame, it's because you have some kind of blockage. Um, but if you really do the work, you will know whether it's your twin flame or not.
Hmm. Yeah, that kind of goes into my next question. Well, first, what is a false twin flame?
A false twin flame is someone that usually comes in right before. And this is when you kind of know what it's about, and you finally find this person that is just like so it's so much in sync with you, and you have that whole energy connection, and it ends up being a soulmate, a very high vibrational soulmate with you. But there will always be a difference. Like with me, everything was in sync except like he was even following all the characteristics of a divine masculine. But there was one thing, like I felt nervous around him. I couldn't talk to him. It was just like, and that's not usually your twin flame. You can talk to. You don't have any judgment back or forth, or there's not that nervousness. So it was kind of like, but I didn't want to believe it because I thought I found my twin flame, and I'm just like, I want to hold on to this person. He's my twin flame. He ghosted me about a week before my real twin flame came in. But I think it was preparing me for him, the real twin flame. Another difference with him is, and this is something very important to keep in mind, one of the biggest um, signs that someone is your twin flame. If you do not have a life purpose that coincides with this other person, it's not a twin flame relationship. Because the reason twin flames are brought together are for life purpose. So if you're an artist and your person is a construction worker, now that he may be a closet artist, so that's something you have to kind of dig into, saying, because not everybody uses their gifts or whatever. But if there's nothing you have in common that would be considered a life purpose or a vision that coincides, literally when me and my twin first talked, first night, he was telling me his vision and it was exact to mine. Even though we don't do the exact same thing, he's a massage therapist and I do life coaching and relationship mentoring, but it fits together and we have the same vision to kind of put it together and move forward together. If you don't have a connection like that with somebody, they're not your twin flame.
Oh,
So
okay, so all you power couples out there, all the nurses and construction workers, wow, wow, wow. No.
actually, here's the thing. And here's the thing. It broadens though when it comes to that.
Mm,
Like say you're a nurse and the person you are feeling as your twin flame is a chiropractor or a massage therapist, or it doesn't have to be exact. Even a construction worker. If you're a construction worker, okay, and you meet somebody that is a wants to travel to like third world countries and build stuff, that would be a twin flame because you are using the two things that you do together to make an impact on humanity to better the world. So it's not necessarily it's just when you're not, when you're opposite, like a nurse and a construction person, it would be hard to connect that for a life purpose. I mean, it could be done, but you know, it would have to be something that you both have a vision that you're both involved in, that you knew before you met, and this was like the other piece that is going to, you know, skyrocket you forward.
So pretty much serving the same types of people and impacting the world
Right.
similarly.
The same vision, the same life purpose. Yeah.
Okay. So are there any spiritual benefits to find having that twin flame connection, like any magical boosts or enhancements that one might get?
Well, since the relationship is divinely guided, you do have there's things that happen for you that you would never imagine happening. Um, Not only that, but the ascension process happens a lot faster when you're with your twin flame. Like right now, me and my twin are getting beat up with ascension symptoms because now that we are more aligned with each other, we're like double speeding ascension. So we're getting like bombarded with all these ascension symptoms, but you do end up awakening faster. You do end up having more psychic abilities. He's coming up with psychic abilities he didn't even know he had, you know, so it does increase your awareness, which in turn, you know, increases your spiritual abilities.
Hmm, great. So, is there a best time in your life, in someone's life, to find or to go on the search or open themselves up to their twin flame relationship?
Well, the thing about a twin flame is, and I probably should have explained this at the beginning, but a twin flame is actually, it's one soul that's split into two beings. Okay. This happens so that they can go on different paths in life and learn lessons that they need to learn, which is your karmic partners and just things you go through your life. When it's time to meet your twin flame, and most people that are in twin flame relationships, that's another sign, you're going to meet this person like in a weird place or out of the blue, or it's going to be someone you wouldn't even have looked at otherwise. And that's really a divine timing thing. I mean, there's a lot you can do to prep to meet this person, but until they learn the lessons that they need to learn before they get to you, you're not going to meet them. It's already destined. So when you are going to meet them, you're going to meet them. Here's the thing, if you meet them before you handle the issues that you're supposed to learn these lessons from, that's where separation comes in because you meet, you realize there's a lot of stuff to work on. So that's where the separation occurs.
Okay, yeah, you knocked out like two more of my questions.
I'm
Because
sorry.
that's fun.
I have to apologize. I ramble.
No, that's okay. Because I was gonna ask, if there's anything, if you're not ready for that, let's say if you are like you're homeless or you're just not in a good spot, you're in college, if there's anything to prevent you that you can do to prevent you from meeting that person before you're ready, but yeah, you pretty much answered
Actually, it's funny you should say homeless because that's how me and my twin met. um, and it's really weird because I was in a position, I was about to go to school, I was all set up. Um, I was going to go to massage therapy school. This was before I met him, and then I met him, and he just happened to be a massage therapist. Synchronicities like that will happen. Um, the day before I started school, the person I was living with, who was going to school with me, decided at 8 o'clock at night to kick me and my 9 year old autistic son out on the street.
that.
And me and my barely knew each other, and he came to my rescue, picked me up, and we started our homeless escapade where we were just jumping from hotel to hotel, you know, staying with people. And I really think we went through that because In that time, it was the most amazing time. We bonded, we were not worried about it, and we learned a lot of insight on homeless people, which is also becoming part of our vision now to um, volunteer our time and services to the homeless to give them more of a like self-worth kind of feel. Like people worry about, okay, are the homeless people eating, do they have a place to stay, but nobody really thinks about their mental state. So we ended up in this homeless place that is starting this project to, they have like a yoga studio that they have yoga instructors come in, and they have like all these things because they felt if we help people change their thinking and work on their mental state, they have a better chance of not getting by or becoming unhomeless and falling back into the same pattern, but really changing someone's life. And I think we went through that situation to be in that the meat of it and know what it feels like to not know where you're going to stay the next day and all that, so it can like help us, move forward with that.
Right. Because I always say that poverty starts in the mind. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so my next question would be, is there anything that people naturally do to repel twin flame relationships before they find
There is a ton of things that people naturally do, and that is usually where the separation comes in, because when you first get with your twin, this person is mirroring all of your great qualities. Like if you've got beautiful hair, you just can't stop looking at their hair. Like if you are like a giving person, you're going to see that in them. It's like a total wonderful mirror. And then they start mirroring your not so good qualities. So sometimes it actually
it?
even seems like a relationship, because when someone's sitting there saying, you do this and it really is pushing my buttons and irritating me, what's narcissism? Somebody that's trying to put on you that they're doing. So it kind of feels like narcissism, because you're like telling this person, that really annoys me. And they're looking at you like, you do the same thing. Like what, So that's where twin flames trigger each other with the bad stuff that needs to come up and needs to be dealt with. Um, and that is usually where one will run, usually the divine masculine. So it's very rare to have twins come together and there not be a separation period. The difference between a separation period is if you're more spiritual, that separation becomes maybe just not talking, living in the same house, but just like alienating yourself from each other to do your own work. Or it could be, if you have no clue what's going on, a total separation that could last for years. You know, if you're overseas and you're talking to someone overseas, a lot of times that separation is the separation. If you're discussing things and you're fighting and you're bringing things up. So when you guys come together, more than likely your separation period was that you were apart for that time and you worked through your stuff, and now that you're in union, you're good. So there's a lot of different levels of separation.
Hmm. Yeah, these are going like these questions are just naturally flowing. That's good. This one's kind of deep, and it's a two-part question. So, if one of the partners reaches godhead or decides not to be reincarnated after they die, what would happen to the other?
Um, twin flames are not subjected to this dimension. Okay. Actually, you don't reincarnate in every lifetime with this person. You may have reincarnated at one lifetime, but you don't do it every lifetime. Some do, but some don't. In that situation, you connect pretty much on a spiritual level only. Um, so it's not like if you don't connect with your twin flame in this lifetime, it doesn't exist. It does. they're on a different dimension, something like that. If you want to connect with them, you have to do it in the 5D. Usually, twin flames connect in the 3D to complete a life mission or a life purpose in their last lifetime.
Hmm. It's kind of
Because they want to go home together.
yeah. Hmm. Gotta reflect on that later. Okay. Because I'm just thinking about all the people that just feel lost and just ask me these questions.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so how can a magical person, how can a non-magical person, excuse me, attract a twin flame relationship? Somebody who doesn't practice magic, somebody is who believes in twin flames, but they don't necessarily do anything in that realm.
It's simply a wish, honestly. Actually, there's nothing really you can do. You can do, if you are magical, you can do magic and maybe in, make the process go faster or make yourself more aware. But really, it's divine time, and when that person is going to come into your life, they're going to come in your life, and whether you have knowledge of it or not, it's going to happen. That's why there's a difference in separation periods and how things are handled. I really believe that if me and my twin weren't as spiritual as we were or didn't have as much knowledge on it, we probably would be separated for years. Okay. So it's divine timing. It's like when you're meant to meet them, you will. Now you can, the best thing I suggest, which I guess is closer to magic, but everybody has magic in them. I
Mhm.
mean, really, magic is mostly intention. Some people that practice more have more of that ability and skill to use their attention and it be more powerful, but really, anyone's intention will do that. So, my suggestion to anybody that is not magical or doesn't practice magic is to write it down. Write down exactly what you want in a person, in a partner, in a twin flame. Write it all down, detailed. Like literally, my twin flame matches every single thing that I have written down. And that's also another way of knowing whether this person is, in fact, your twin flame. Because when you use your inner guidance to put your desire into the universe, your inner guidance knows exactly what you want and exactly what's out there for you. So if you write this list, that person is going to come to you. So if someone is coming to you that does not meet those characteristics that you have been asking for,
Mm.
stay away. It's not your twin flame.
Okay. We have a lot of questions. We're gonna answer those at the end. Only have a few more. So my next question would be: is there a difference in children who have parents that are in a twin flame relationship, that are born with parents with twin
Well, I know in my situation, both he has children on his side, I have children on my side. They're all very gifted, very gifted. I don't know that it's the twin flame connection necessarily. We don't have any children together,
flames?
so I couldn't answer like if there's an effect when two procreate. Does it make like this powerful, twin flame person? No, I don't know that kind of thing. I do know that our offspring separately have a lot of gifts. In fact, I bring my son, he's got a magic 8 ball, and he'll come on with me live sometimes and answer questions. He's got a YouTube channel. So, but I kind of try to, um, encourage his gifts and stuff like that. But, I don't know. Me and him don't have any kids together. So
Hmm. Okay. Now, do you think that this concept of twin flame relationships is going to become mainstream at some point? Movies, TV shows, or just people? You know how people talk about their third eye and things like that, and they don't even know what a third eye is. Do you think that this is going to be something more mainstream?
I think the awareness is going to definitely increase, not only in the twin flame relationships, but in ascension. And I feel like once that happens, people are going to be looking for more spiritual answers to questions. One of our things is we are gearing some of our services with his massage therapy towards ascension symptoms because more and more people are coming out with them and doctors don't understand them. So we're trying to offer that kind of services to those people that do. And once the awareness is, you know, happens with that, I think at that point people are going to realize that there's something more to relationships and everything else.
Well, we have the questions that we have, you pretty much already answered. Natalie asks, can your twin flame help develop your psychic abilities and help you open your third
Absolutely. In fact, the closer I get to my twin flame and we get come into union, both of our psychic abilities have like peaked, um, because you start ascending together. You know, also, here's something very important, and this helps the during the separation period. If you want to heal your twin flame of something undesirable, figure out what it is in you that he is mirroring or she. Sorry, I'm a little sore right now.
eye.
Figure out what it is that that person is doing that is a problem with you. Fix that, and I guarantee you will see a difference in that other person. Because if you fix issue in you, since you are one flame, it's automatically going to fix in that other person, or they are going to be drawn to fix it in one way or another.
I got that today, actually. I didn't really, yeah. Now, do you have anything that you wanted to tell anybody? Any information that people don't typically know about this topic?
I think the most important thing, especially with Mars about to go into retrograde, um, things are going to become very hostile and egos are going to be on the rise. And, you know, this is a time where a lot of past life and just past hurts and stuff are coming up in order to be dealt with and swept away. And this is going to be a really, really, really hard time for twin flames because you're already going through all of this stuff already, and this is just going to amplify it. So, my suggestion is, you know, keep yourself really grounded. Not only that, but it is very important to analyze situations. I just did a video, I think I shared it in my group. I'm not sure if I shared it everywhere, but I did a video on unconditional love and what it is and what it's not. And it's very important to, when you're dealing with your twin flame, especially, is to come at any situation with unconditional love. What's unconditional love? It is love without conditions. What's a condition? Everything is a condition. Okay. People come to me and say, oh, well, you know, my twin is verbally abusive, which would probably never happen. Or, okay, let's do this. My twin is an alcoholic. Okay. That's a condition. Okay. A lot, how we're programmed now is, oh, okay, that's an unhealthy situation, leave it. Okay. That's not coming from a place of unconditional love. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to accept that situation. When I talk about unconditional love, it's like, do you love that person the same you would if he was not an alcoholic? If you could say, yes, you love that person unconditionally, that doesn't mean you have to sit there and put yourself in a dangerous position, but you can't let your ego judge your love for that person based on a condition. Ego is the worst thing you can have in a twin flame relationship. And if you don't drop it, the universe will strip it from you in a not so nice way, take that from experience. Okay. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing this, and very egotistical. Oh no, no, because you're not gonna get your way because you used ego and you weren't supposed to, and it's not fun when the universe takes it from you. I'm just saying, so much better if you just do it yourself, and but ego is a big thing. Ego is a huge thing.
Right.
So if you can drop that ego, um, and even now, as far as I've come, I still have times where I'm like, man, I shouldn't have did that because that was such an ego move, and now it's not really gonna work out the way I want it to, you know. So that's what most people fight. And also, let me add this: when you use your ego, if you have a lot of anxiety in this time of ascension, your anxiety is more than likely coming from the fact that you are too egotistical. And what do I mean by that? It is your body fighting your ego because your ego is sitting there saying, no, you're staying here. You're staying here. We're going to, and your body's trying to ascend. So right away, the warning signs go off with your heart, maybe having pains or anxiety, not being able to breathe. And that's really the pull between your ego and you being raised to a vibration that ego does not exist.
Hmm.
So that's
So
kind
do
of another little
you
topic.
think any projects coming up, any videos or anything that we should be watching out
Did you ask another question? Because if you did, I didn't hear you.
for? Oh yeah, I was asking if you have
Sorry.
projects or videos, anything coming up that we need to be watching out
Yes, I actually have. I wish I can be like this man here that can pump out a video a day, two, three,
for.
four, five videos a day. I just, I haven't been able to do it. I have a lot of plans. I want to actually go through the steps, the each phase of the relationships, one by one in more detail, so you know what kind of to expect, and because it's very confusing because these things are happening to you, and you have no idea why, and you're just like, okay. Anytime before in a relationship, I would tell this person, kick rocks, deuces, I'm out. But why am I still coming back? Why am I putting up with this? Is my self-esteem, going down? I've never dealt with this before. And it's because you don't understand that you're not getting away from this. It's not just something like you've handled your relationships all before because you're not going to get away from it. So a lot of people get confused, like, why am I so drawn to this person that I can't stand? It's too much like me. Uh, um, but that's kind of, what it is to where, so I want to make a lot of videos with the signs of, what kind of relationship you're in, so people don't get confused and think it's a twin flame relationship when it's not. I've had to tell several people, including a really good friend of mine, that the person she is happily with right now is not her twin flame. And that's a hard thing to do. It's so much easier to sit there and have someone come to me and say that's coming for a twin flame reading that wants to know, oh yeah, yay, you're in that twin flame relationship. It's a lot harder when they want that person to be their twin flame and they're not. So it's kind of, I'm trying to do, of course, I can't share all of my knowledge. It's so freaking extensive. It would be, years and years of video footage, I'm sure. But I do want to at least give people that basic understanding of each stage, each symptom, each sign, how to handle it. And I'm also having, I know I favor the divine feminines just because I've been through so much, and the masculines I kind of, but I put together this vent session that I'm going to be doing to where the divine feminines that are going through some stuff can get together with other ones, can ask me questions, and kind of just release in a healthy way in like a focus group almost. And I also even got my twin to agree to do a guest appearance And it's more like a roast. Is that what they call it? um, I'm just hoping they don't, start attacking them and stuff. But so this way they can get the perspective of the DM, like if they have questions and like kind of get his insight. What are you thinking? What is my DM thinking? So I'm sure he's not going to do it very often, but we're planning to at least have that option to for them to get like kind of pick the brain of the DM. Poor guy. You know what he's getting himself into with me. Never be with a creative person. You never know what you're getting yourself into.
And thank you, Kim. I just did a wonderful meditation in the bath. It was amazing. I'm very smiley and connected to that dimension of love right now. How are you doing, Tony? So Bill asks, is it true that you need to make space in your home, like clear space for his things to attract your twin in your life?
I didn't have a home when I attracted mine, so um, I'd say no, because it's not really about space. It's not really about you kind of coexist. You know, like we connect the most with walks and going out into nature, and it's like when we're there, we don't care about what car we drive, what our house looks like, what, anything. It's like we are there in the moment, and that is the most beautiful time that we have, because that is a soul's whole purpose, is to just live in the moment. Anything that is material based is generally 3D based. So you don't find value really in security or material possessions, that kind of thing. It's more about keeping yourself grounded and aligned. That's what will attract your twin flame the fastest. The closer you are to yourself, your inner being, self love, the more you love yourself, the more you are going to attract your twin. When you know who you are and you love yourself and you are connected with your inner self, that if you want to make room in any house, make it here. That's where you got to make room.
Yeah.
Open your heart.
Like attracts like. So just make space in your heart. Pretty much. Pretty much is what I got from that. So
A lot of times people, one of the biggest blocks is your heart chakra being closed, because if you're not opening your heart chakra, you are not going to call in your twin. You're not going to be able to connect with your twin. So that's one of the biggest blocks, honestly.
pretty deep. Well, I have to end this, and I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Nefertiti, for agreeing to do this interview with me. It was very interesting, very enlightening.
I really enjoyed it, and I hope to work with you again soon in the present. I mean, in the future. See, I'm in the present, y'all. Present comes out. But
Present.
I really did enjoy
That's good. That's good. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching, and we will see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.